Hi guys, and welcome back to Playtech TV. Now this week I'm going to be looking at the Zowie range of mice and accessories, which we've just received in here at Playtech, and they were going crazy. We actually can't get enough of these, they're selling out so quick. Now at first glance it might look like there's only 2 or 3 mice in the whole Zowie range, but in reality there's actually 8 mice across the whole range. That's right, 8 mice. That's actually more than any I've ever seen from any other manufacturer at one time before in my whole life. So I'm going to try to break it down for you guys and make it nice and easy for you guys to figure out which mouse from the Zowie range is going to be ideal for you. So first of all, the mice fall under 3 distinct categories. So we've got the ZA series, the FK series, and the EC series. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the EC series. So the EC series is their standard right-handed model. Now, Zowie have kind of modeled this after, well, to me anyway, this looks very similar to the old school Microsoft Intelli mouse, which was a very, very popular mouse back in its day and kind of set the benchmark for what a good quality mouse it would be and was kind of the grandfather of modern gaming mice. Now this shape is very just basically tried and tested and is, as far as most people are concerned, the perfect mouse shape. And so the EC series is really flawless in its execution. It uses a tried and tested design, but gives it an updated sensor. We've got an Avago 3310, that's a 3200 DPI optical sensor with 1000 Hz polling rate, and it's got some cool little features like an illuminated scroll wheel, and it's got the standard 5 buttons all over. But other than that, it's a completely standard, safe bet gaming mouse. You can't really go wrong with one of these guys, so I have no hesitation recommending it. And so that's the first model out of Zowie's range, and that's kind of like the vanilla. That's the starter model, that's the safe bet that most people are going to be happy with. Now the next series I want to talk about is the ZA series. Now this is a so-called high profile shape on the mouse, which basically means that it has a bigger hump in the rear of it, which sits up in your palm and supports your palm a little bit more. Other than that though, it is the same Avago sensor as the EC series, that same sensor we've got across the full range of Zowie mice, but it has however a normal non-illuminated scroll wheel. It's just the standard black rubber type thing here. And that leads us on to the third and final series of mouse from Zowie, and that is the FK series here. So this is the low profile design. So it's a very flat kind of design. It doesn't have the big hump that the ZA sort of series do. So it means that it's going to be better for people that want to keep their hand kind of more level and they don't like stuff up in their sort of palm or anything like that. But nevertheless, that is still a great shape, and a lot of people are going to find it very comfortable. Now both the ZA and the FK series are both ambidextrous, so whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't really matter at all, whereas the EC series is right-handed only, so just keep that in mind when you're shopping for mice, particularly if you're left-handed. Now so that gives us our 3 overall series, but inside those series we actually have different sizes. So that's right, the EC series actually has 2 different mice in that series, so we've got a medium and a large. Whereas the ZA and FK series each have small, medium, and large models of the mice, so it gives you a very wide range of hand types and hand shapes that it will fit. Now this just shows how much Zowie are trying to push to make the perfect gaming mouse for everyone, because as you know, everyone has a different shaped hand and everyone's going to have a different preference on how they hold the mouse. Most of us have the same amount of fingers, however everybody has a different shaped palm, a different shaped hand, everything like that. So I really appreciate this. As someone, I used to work on the shop floor in Playtech for years, sold thousands of gaming mice to people, and everyone always said, hey, my hand's too big for this, my hand's too small for this. And that's because most manufacturers only ever make a kind of a medium, lowest common denominator kind of size. So for Zowie to go out of their way to create all these extra models and sizes, it says a lot. And I think a lot of people that previously thought that they were just going to have to put up with the wrong size mouse forever are going to be pleasantly surprised here. I mean, you wouldn't walk around wearing the wrong size shoes or anything like that, so I guess it's kind of the same with mice. You want to get something that's going to sort of fit your hand right. If you're going to be spending a lot of time with it, then it just pays to get the right size. Now, how are you supposed to know which size is right for you? That's the tricky bit. So I would 100% recommend, if possible, coming down to a stockist of Zowie, like us, Playtech here in New Zealand. If you're in New Zealand, come down and see us and actually try them out. Put your hand on one. That is the best way that you will see what it's going to feel like. Now, obviously, for those of you guys who aren't in New Zealand, it's going to be a little bit trickier. If you can't get your hands on one in the flesh, then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make up a bit of a size chart, and I'm going to drop it in the description. So what you can actually do is maybe print that out, and it will come out at full scale, and you'll be able to compare that to your current mouse in terms of footprint and everything like that, and just see if the mouse is going to be bigger or smaller than your current mouse, and see just exactly how that's going to work. Hopefully that'll help you get a good idea of whether you're upsizing, downsizing, and what direction you need to go. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I would absolutely recommend to get your hand on one and try one out for yourself. Now, while it's all well and good to have a mouse that fits your hand perfectly, what happens if it just sucks? You know, what's the point in having a great mouse that is perfectly tailored to your size hand and everything like that if it just sucks? Well, I'm happy to say that that's not the case with the Zowies. The Avago optical sensor means it's going to be a really nice, smooth feeling, accurate mouse. And it polls up to 1000 Hertz, so it's going to be a very crisp feeling, very snappy feeling mouse. But the mouse is only one part of the whole system that Zowie have got going here. They also have a mouse bungee and a mouse mat going on here. So the mouse bungee is actually really cool, and it's got this little slider on the back that allows you to adjust the kind of like how much give it's got in it, and how much pull it's gonna sort of move around and stuff. So it's very cool there, and it's got a nice weighty base to it. So it's gonna sit on your desk and it's not gonna get pulled around or anything like that without being too obtrusive. You know, it's not gonna be like sort of yanking back on your mouse cord when you're trying to move it or anything like that, and at the same time it doesn't require actually fixing to the desk like some of the other ones that have ridiculous suction cups and things like that are going to do. And the mouse mats that they do are actually really interesting as well. I never thought I'd say this about a mouse mat, but this is actually one that has a little bit something special about it that others don't really have. Although it looks very similar to your standard Razer or SteelSeries mouse mat, there is actually a lot more QA going into these guys. The edges of these mouse mats have actually been done by a human. They're actually hand done on a machine. So that means that a person has actually sat there and guided the mouse mat through a sewing machine. And that's why the QA on these is so high, and they're all perfect, because it's got someone literally making sure that they're all perfectly in line. Whereas the other ones like that you get from other brands that are actually all just done by a machine, and the machine just kind of sews it and they chuck on the next one, sews it and everything like that, they actually have quite a high failure rate. So the hand finishing on the edge of these mouse mats is actually really high standard. Now it may seem like a small little weird thing, but it is actually really cool. When you take a mouse mat from another brand that may have been done on a machine and unroll it, you'll notice how it actually just rolls out all funny and it's all kind of a weird shape. This is because of the way that it's done on a machine, whereas ones that are done by hand, they actually roll out perfectly flat every time. And that's actually a way to tell how your mouse mat has been made, but it's also just another sign of the extreme QA and the actual the dedication to making a good end product that Zowie have worked on here. And the other part of the QA process that really impressed me is that they actually test each area of the mouse pad. They actually push on it and they actually get the density of the foam to make sure that it is consistent across the whole mouse mat. So some other mouse mats from other brands, you have like soft spots and stuff like that, whereas you get an absolutely consistent feel across the whole mouse mat with these Zowie ones. So I'm really impressed with that, and it seems like a stupid little thing that most people wouldn't really worry about, but if you're quite a hardcore gamer, if you're a serious gamer, or if you just like nice stuff, then it is actually nice to just have those small little touches that turn it from a great product into basically one of the best products that I've really seen. And I know that's quite a strange thing. It's quite a small little difference that most people don't consider to be worth even talking about. But when you see so many other mouse mats on the market that are all just the same, they do the same thing all the time, they maybe change the picture on it or something like that, it is worth noting when someone actually goes that little extra mile, that little extra bit that makes their product just stand a little bit ahead of everyone else. And I can respect that. I really enjoy that. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I just wanted to give you a good rundown on the range and show you all the differences between the different models, and hopefully help you navigate to find the correct product that's going to be right for you. However, before I go, I did want to do a little bit of a giveaway. Now, I'm going to throw down a link in the actual description here, and what I want you guys to do is to follow the link and actually let me know which mouse from Zowie that you guys are kind of liking the most. What one do you like the look of? Which one would you want to have for yourself? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick through those answers, and I'm going to choose one of you guys, and I'm going to give away one of these mice. So something to be excited about. Get amongst it. I'll put the link in the description, and hopefully I will see you guys all soon, and have a good weekend.